Ms. Black, can you please state your name for the record? I'm sorry, Mr. Black, you're on a violation of probation. Let's start that all over.
I'm looking. Emily, let's put these just in alphabetical
Okay.
instead of the different files. I'm not smart enough to jump back and forth. Go ahead, counsel.
Judge, you're here today for violation of probation. The defendant is aware he's got a right to the hearing. Essentially, he's been here before the judge. Last time he was here, he was told he had to take care of some days in the work program. He was able to do so. I have looked at some text messages from his work indicating they were going to fire him back in December if he missed work. He didn't miss work, he missed the work program. Judge is here today. He no longer has that job. He's got plenty of time to do the work program. We're hopeful that you might consider that as an alternative to jail. Given that he's no longer working, he can clear that up ASAP. Am I correct in saying that, sir? Yes, sir.
Why'd you lose a job?
To me, I just feel like my boss was too entitled. That was only my second time calling off, and she had that man with me.
Why'd you call off?
I can't remember what I called off.
This started out as a felony charge. You understand that? Mr. Black, I don't think I'm doing you a favor not putting you in jail. I think I should put you in jail. Because I don't think you understand the bullet you dodged when you got a misdemeanor plea. So you're standing here facing jail time and you lost the job anyhow. You're not making good decisions, bro. Where was the job at?
Sure.
What were you doing?
Merch manager.
Who manager?
Merch manager.
How long were you there?
7 months.
How old are you? Where'd you go to high school? Graduate? What was your GPA?
25.
What's your long range plan?
What's the sales rep going into like marketing and all that and everything, but they end up letting me go because of my background check. Yes.
What came up? You got some felony record?
It's okay.
This one?
Yes, please.
And where you live?
Detroit.
We still got a Taylor address. Is that a good mailing address?
Oh yeah, that's still my.
Grandma's a good mailing address? You got a driver's license? Why not? Why? Too many points? When can you get it back? Miss,
Yeah, Your Honor, with his girlfriend, I believe he does have some family support. They are aware of this to a certain extent.
Mr. Black, I feel like I need to have you come in here once a week just so I can mentor you. How old are you? Dude. You can't accomplish much without driving privileges in the state. You know, we ain't in Chicago where you can take buses everywhere. And you don't know what it takes to get your license back?
I think I have to just pay off my tickets.
Think one more.
All right, so first of all, I'm not putting you in jail today. I stress today. I might still put you in jail, but not today. I'm going to give you some work program. I'm going to penalize you. I'm going to give you 4 days. You're going to have to finish the 4 days on the work program. If you do that, then I'm done with you. You don't owe us any money, right?
You didn't charge him.
Yeah, yeah. You walked into my courtroom with a felony charge on your record. You walked out and didn't even owe any money. You don't understand what a gift you get. The prosecutor gave you a gift. I gave you a gift.
Your Honor, he was also ordered to engage in
anger management as well.
And that didn't happen either?
We had him, or told him to provide documentation by January 5th, and he failed to do so.
Did you do any anger management?
Your Honor.
Why? What? You're not working? What? Seriously, tell me what's going on. What's stressing you out, dude? What, you don't have stable housing?
Just about 2 weeks ago, just got stable housing.
All right, so you didn't have stable housing. All right. Brother, you need a job.
They could hear us.
Do you consider a review date a couple of weeks out with a number of hoops to jump through between now and then?
I want to get him a job, but I can't get him transportation.
I was gonna reference that license judge, maybe take a look at his driving record, see what's going on, try to get it in the right direction as it relates to that as well.
Listen to me. Yes, I'm going to give you some time. Hear my heart. I want to help you because I don't want you spending time in places like this 5 years down the road. All right, February 12th.
Are you having work program, Judge?
I am.
So is he doing 8 days or just 4 days?
How many were you ordered to do originally? How many has he done?
He has done 2 days total.
So he walked in the door owing us 2.
He was ordered 4 days, he's completed 2.
All right, so you're going to do 4. I'm penalizing you 2 days. All right, so get a plan in place for the anger management. Finish the 4 days in the work program as scheduled. Don't call and say, I got to reschedule one of my 4. Whatever you walk out of here today, whatever 4 days you pick today, those are the days you're going to do. Yes? Okay. We'll talk on February 12th. I would suggest between now and February 12th, go to the Secretary of State and find out what you need to get on the road legally. All right? And when I say I want to get you a job, dude, I have people that will hire you if you'll show up and work every day you're scheduled. I got their cards up here on my bench. But you got to show up and you don't call in because you got a sniffle, right? You grab a box of Kleenex and you go to work. If you're willing to make some life changes, I'm willing to put myself out there to help you. Are you listening to me? But man, you got to start making good decisions. You're 21, so you only got a couple more years where you can use young and dumb as an excuse for doing things wrong. But when you're 30, you can't keep saying, well, you know. And I've never walked in your shoes, brother. And if you feel like I'm being dismissive, I don't know what you've gone through. I have no idea, and I don't care right now because I know tomorrow's a new day for you. And I'll help you change things if you'll work with me. So February 12th, 2026, 1 p.m. was it?
Yes.
All right. And get your attorney's phone number.
I appreciate it.
Good luck. Oh, he does owe us some money on something else though. Expired license and speeding tickets. My paperwork says you owe us $642. Are you in a position to make any kind of payment plan on that?
And $50 a week.
Can you pay that? You sure? I'll tell you what. Everybody out there raise your hand if you owe the court money. Cover your ears. I don't want you to hear this. I'll hold off on this until we get a plan so we know what has to be done on your license.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas. Happy birthday.
This case is a reminder that not every powerful courtroom moment ends with handcuffs clicking shut. Sometimes the most intense moment is when a judge looks straight at a defendant and says, "I'm not sending you to jail today." The defendant in this case is 21 years old, still young, still early in life, but already standing at a crossroads that many people don't realize they've reached until it's too late. No steady job, no valid driver's license, an incomplete work program, anger management never started, and a pattern of decisions that, taken together, paint a very clear picture. From a legal standpoint, this case was simple. No standpoint, this case was probation violations were clear. Non-compliance was documented. The court had every justification to order immediate jail time. And if that had happened, no one in the room would have been surprised. But this judge didn't just look at the paperwork. The judge looked at the direction. That's what separated this hearing from hundreds of others. Instead of focusing only on what the defendant failed to do, the judge focused on where the defendant was heading. And that question, where are you going if nothing changes, is often more important than any single violation. The judge made something very clear. This was not forgiveness. This was not leniency without consequence. This was not the system going easy. This was what you might call conditional restraint, a pause before irreversible damage. When the judge said, "I'm not putting you in jail today," the emphasis wasn't subtle. It was a warning wrapped in opportunity. The judge explained that jail was still absolutely an option, that the court was not powerless, that the defendant had already used up far more patience than most people ever get, and that the only reason jail wasn't happening right now was because the court believed, just barely, that intervention might still work. This is the part many people misunderstand about moments like this. This wasn't mercy, this was pressure. This was pressure. Because when a judge gives you one last chance, the weight of that chance is heavier than any sentence. The responsibility shifts fully onto the defendant. There is no confusion, no ambiguity, no excuses left to hide behind. The judge didn't sugarcoat anything. He said directly that the defendant's plan wasn't working, that the pattern of losing jobs, failing programs, and avoiding responsibility wasn't random bad luck. It was the result of poor decisions. And for a 21-year-old, hearing that in a courtroom matters. Why? Because this is often the last place where someone will tell you the truth without caring whether you like it. What made this moment especially powerful was the tone. The judge didn't mock, he didn't belittle, he didn't posture. He spoke like someone who had seen this story hundreds of times before and knew exactly how it usually ends. The judge acknowledged the stressors in the defendant's life: unstable housing, transportation problems, job loss. But he also made it clear that circumstances explain behavior, they don't excuse it. At some point, accountability has to take over, or the system becomes meaningless. Work program days were increased, a review date was set, expectations were spelled out clearly. And the judge emphasized that the next hearing would not look like this one if progress wasn't made. That's the key takeaway from this case. This was not a clean slate. This was not a reset. This was the final warning before consequences become permanent. There is a point in the justice system where judges stop asking questions and start issuing orders. This defendant is standing directly on that line. What happens next depends entirely on what he does when he walks out of the courtroom. Does he treat this as luck, or does he treat it as a turning point? Because the system will not keep bending forever. Judges remember faces. Courts remember patterns. And once a defendant becomes known as someone who doesn't respond to opportunities, the tone changes fast. This case shows the justice system at one of its most human moments. Not weak, not careless, but intentional. The judge used authority not just to punish, but to intervene, knowing full well that intervention doesn't always work. And that's the risk the court took here. The defendant was spared jail today, but he wasn't spared accountability. In fact, he was given more of it, more responsibility, more structure, and far less room to fail again. This is the kind of case that doesn't feel dramatic in the moment, but becomes dramatic later, depending on what the defendant chooses to do with it. If he follows through, this hearing will be remembered as the moment his life changed direction. If he doesn't, this will be remembered as the day the system tried and gave up. Because next time, there won't be a conversation, there won't be a lecture, there won't be another chance, there will only be consequences, and the court made that perfectly clear. This is a great some time, Persikli.